Okay, so hey. I'm making this video for one of my old high school teachers for his civics class, and it's kind of just talking a little bit about my role as a student who's also like, I guess, like a student activist. What got me interested in being a student activist, what got me here, what I've taken away from it, what I've gained from it, and just also speaking on like what do I do, I guess, as a student activist. But I don't want like this video to kind of just be me just like speaking on like, oh, this is what I do and this is that, kind of just like this boring like monotone like video. But it's kind of really hard not to, because I want to get everything out that I need to say, but also like I'm a little nervous. Like this is probably like my 1,000th take on this video, and I know like just saying it out there and getting it out there and being like, I'm nervous and this is like a lot for me, and trying to streamline all of my thoughts into one go for people to then digest, pick apart, and have an opinion on is a very brave and vulnerable and honest thing to do. Also low-key courageous, but on the flip side, it's like cringe and corny, gang. But not for me, because hashtag I'm base. And so let me not put this near, because also guys, I'm in, take a sip of water, calm my nerves, but I'm in my university's radio station, and it's KUSF.org, and I have a radio show on there. I'm called Intellectual Hour every Sunday, 1:30 to 3 p.m. So correct, it's an hour and 30 minutes, but Intellectual Hour because it sounds better. At Intellectual Hour, and 1:30 to 3 p.m. PST, and my DJ name is Marie the Social Science Kid because I'm a sociology major and I have minors in gender and sexuality studies, anthropology, and media studies. So social science kid. And also because I really loved Sid the Science Kid growing up, and I like science. And I guess like for me personally, what like struck my interest for activism, first of all, I love the yap. I love to speak my mind, speak my opinion, and get my voice out there. And also, since a child, I've just kind of been described as a firecracker and someone who's like short-tempered. And I think I have like I used to say like as a child like I had anger management issues, but I was just really passionate and assertive about my opinions. And I think that kind of energy and fire and fuel finds its way well in activism, when of course managed and handled right, when we have emotional intelligence and also understanding that we're interacting with other human beings, and so what we say and how we say it are very important. But like as a pre-K, I didn't know that, and so when I'm protesting my school because I think we should integrate the boys and girls line and we shouldn't have separate lines, and so I decided like, no, I'm gonna lead the boys line, and I'm walking the boys down to the lunchroom and sitting at the boys lunch table and things like that, and pretending like, oh, I'm a boy and all these kind of things. Funnily enough too, that I think that's also just like peak queerness for me, because like I just didn't, I think just don't feel like those type of things should be drawn into this binary definitive, especially for like a young kid who I just didn't fit in. I just didn't fit within either being a girl or a boy and having to pick one. So I guess you can guess my pronouns, but my pronouns are they, she, he. I always refrain from saying my pronouns out loud because no matter how I say it, 'cause I always want to say they first, to take away anyone getting too comfortable with being like she or he. But then I will be she, he, or he, she, and I think that just gives my enemies too much fuel of the fire. So I'm like, you just call me by my name, what song is that? I don't know. Oh, hashtag Tyler the Creator, call me by my name. Yeah, but in terms of what I do at my university, I do a lot, done a lot, will continue to do a lot, because that's just who I am, that's just what I do. But I've served as a senator and done a lot of advocacy and things in that nature. Very bureaucratic, and I wouldn't recommend it. I would suggest it though, because I think it's a good way to understand how bureaucratic processes work and how like our actual government operates in terms of, you know, writing resolutions and writing up bills and things like that, and writing amendments and amending things and stuff like that, and the process it takes to pass it to like the House, the Senate, and then to the president and stuff. Which, shout out to one of my other high school teachers who taught us how to write amendments and bills and things like that, and taught us all of that kind of stuff, and having to like read and know the Constitution, so that now I feel like very equipped in this current political climate to know like what actually is constitutional and unconstitutional, and what like I think a lot more people should understand, that they have a lot of political will. It was written that way, that as individuals we can have political will. And I think also just like the power you have of being an individual, like that's just so cool. And when you add that to someone else and someone else and someone else and someone else and someone else, the power you guys have as a group. Low-key, I've been on a Hamilton kick. And in the My Shot song, he talks about like what are the odds that like the God would put like us here together, like Alexander Hamilton, Lafayette, John Lawrence, Aaron Burr, and Hercules Mulligan. And these 5 men, well, minus Aaron Burr, but these 4 men are like basically the reason we won the American Revolution. Like especially Lafayette and Alexander Hamilton, like they're the reason why we're like a free country. So it's like, yeah, like what are the odds like God would put you in a space with the people that you're around, and the type of things that you can create and grow from that. And I think especially being in Chicago, because this video is for a group of Chicago high school seniors, even though it's going to be posted publicly, I think it's amazing. You guys have such a unique perspective and role in social activism. For me, I grew up on the south side of Chicago in Roseland, and I'm always the only person usually who is from Chicago at this university in my classes, usually always the only out-of-state person, and definitely, even if I'm in a group of Chicagoans, always the only Southsider or only person from Roseland. And I think that is a very interesting, unique experience. If you know, you know. And so being here where I'm like, everything I know about liberation institutionalism and my ideals is birthed in reality, and living and breathing inequality, social, institutional, and societal like oppression and barriers, and growing up in a low income neighborhood, in a predominantly Black neighborhood, in the most segregated city in this country, like with a parent who like in 1 year made $20K for 1 year for a family of 5 and still got denied food stamps. Like, so really knowing like the actual consequences of being deemed, you know, Black, and being in the negative connotation, and being deemed like this, you know, stereotypical, you know, daughter or child of the Black welfare queen. Even though, like I said, my mom could not get approved for benefits, even though like a family that desperately needs it. And so I say all of that to say, like, I'm coming from activism from a very real perspective, which I can imagine some students in this classroom probably are or aren't, and that's okay too. Like, if you come from a more privileged upbringing, because I think like at Kenwood and in Chicago, and especially at my university, it's kind of like this, I don't want to say melting pot, but this gathering ground of people from different backgrounds, even though we kind of live in the same, you know, sphere. And that's what I mean about the odds. What are the odds of the gods gathering you all there together today in that one space, and the type of friends and people you can meet, and friends and connections you can make? Like, I look at all the people I graduated high school with, and just look at the collective of artwork and creativity that they create there in Chicago. It's beautiful to see, and I think activism and social activism is in everything, because if you guys are gathering together, that's already a social group. And if you're making art that is a testament to your pain, to your experience, to your life, to your joy, and is a commentary on the political, cultural, social phenomenons of the world, that is activism. And it can literally be anything you want it to be. For me, it's looking like, I'm planning a Black Student Showcase. I'm planning workshops for students to do, creative space and healing space to talk about their lived realities of being Black on this campus, to write speeches to say to the admin, and then hosting a conversation with the admin members to listen to these speeches and listen to the resolutions that students write up and come up with, to be a testament to their pain and experiences and their stories and their realities, but also be the solution to it. You don't just want to, drop your pain off at the white man's doorstep and expect the master tools to fix it, but you want to come with, not just with your baggage, but with the tools to fix it and carry it. And I think when we're gathering in these collective space, that's also an important thing to take note, and not everybody does that. And that's kind of what I learned in terms of activism, is that a lot of people forget we are humans before anything. Like, people get too caught up in the fluffy language of comrade, and like, bro, I hate that shit. I'm so sorry. Like, it blows me. Like, the libertarian talk and the pure like spew hatred and the libertarian cannibalism of trying to find the rats in this hive mind echo chamber of we have to have the same ideas and opinions in this one mind. It's like, that's not how we operate. Like, when I get my heartbreak, I don't take that heartbreak the same way you do. How the hell you gonna expect me to organize and be a freedom fighter the same way you is? I'm not Malcolm X, nigga. Like, I don't organize the same way he do, and you definitely don't either. Like, you're not even the same skin color as him. What are we doing, gang? Stop that. Stop that. But anyways, yeah, like, it just kind of get like I don't know, it's kind of just like I really have to step back and realize, like, bro, I'm around a bunch of other human beings, and like, these niggas is corny. Like, that, like, I feel like coming from Chicago, like, niggas is not sitting, sorry, let me bring it back. This is a holy ground, this is a classroom space. People are not sitting there and worrying more about the rhetoric and the language that they're using. But in these academic, scholarly, like, institutional spaces, when it comes to activism, they are. Like, this, for them, this is more of like work and show. For some people, this is more of work and show and less about my life is on the line. When I'm organizing, I'm thinking about my nieces and nephews. I'm thinking about actually y'all, because I know what it's like growing up in Chicago. I know what it's like, going through the emotions and things of that nature. Everything I do, everywhere I go, I always tell people, I'm from Chicago, I'm from the south side of Chicago. I root a lot of the research that I do, a lot of why I do my research in my lived experience as someone being from Chicago. And that's not just the big up Chicago, because, what the hell is Chicago, right? But that's to say, like, I do offer a very unique perspective, just like everyone else does. And I recognize that, and I also recognize a lot of people, some people don't recognize that, and they don't want to meet you halfway there. And I think for me, it's a lot easier to do that. I feel like I'm just like dick riding myself. But that's okay. It's a good thing. But yeah, I feel like I just do that because I recognize, like, there are other things I've been through. Like, even when it comes to, not always agreeing with the people I'm organizing with and not recognizing their humanity and them not recognizing mine and things of that nature and the things that come with that, aka doxing. It happened to me like 3 times. I also, like, just kind of recognize that there are other things that are more important, like what is going on in Congo, in Gaza, to the Palestinian people, and recognizing that I have friends, and there are students here who really are living through some of the worst things like you can ever imagine. And so it's more important to give people grace, to say, like, I can't fault you for what you don't know. but I know how to, at the end of the day, I'm still an individual, I'm still a person, you know? I'm not in this facade of like, we just have to like each other, agree, and all of that for this to work, because that's not how things work. Like, we're like, you don't just drop your humanness off at the door when you step in the role of an activist. You actually become even more human. And that sometimes that's being like, I do not like that person over there who is at the same, you know, protest event as me, but I'm going to leave that, you know how the flyers at the like trend, like when it's a trend at like what, the water tower, and like trend, leave the drama at the door, leave the drama at your house. That's what activism is. It's like, I'm not gonna leave my humanity at the door, but I am gonna leave the drama, you know, at the crib. I am gonna leave, you know, the things that are not productive. I'm not gonna say the emotions that aren't productive, but like the things and the beliefs and those type of things that aren't productive. That's kind of what I learned, because I still show up to the events and be around people who I'm like, yeah, you kind of did me dirty. And also, you still got to show up when it's like you lost all your friends in one semester, and it's like, God damn. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. That did not happen to me. I did not lose all my friends in a semester, but I ain't never seen a group. I never see a friend group die so fast. And so it's like you really do live through like real life things and stuff. Like, my whole mind don't just be like activism. No, I have finals, I have midterms. I'm like, damn, like, is there gonna be a job for me like after I graduate, like with the current administration going on? Like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to afford anything since the tariffs keep going up. Like, damn, like they just said eggs cost $12, like $12. Like, am I gonna be able to like get eggs? Am I gonna have to start like growing like my own chickens and stuff? Like reality does set in, and I think that's why it's more so important to build like community with the people around you and strengthen your own political will, and knowing the type of power that you hold, and taking things personally, but don't take them personally. Like, I think when I say take things personally, like when I read the Constitution, right, in the preamble, and they like, the people have the power to take away their president if their president does not satisfy them. I take that very personally. Even though I know when they was writing that, they did not imagine me being them person. They didn't even think I was a person. But I'm still like, no, yeah, that is my God-given constitutional right. Thank you. I am going to take that deeply. And I am going to act on that when I need to act on that. But I'm also like, not going to take it personal when like somebody in a liberated space is like trying to out Angela Davis me, even though I'm not even in the Angela Davis competition. I did not know this was a Angela Davis like lookalike contest. Like, you got that, like, what do you want? Like, did not know. Sorry, walking like embodiment of Erykah Badu music. Like, you know, you gotta recognize, like, at the end of the day, none of us know what the hell we're doing. Sometimes you're gonna have, I'm not gonna say frauds, but sometimes you're gonna have frauds. Sometimes you're gonna have ops, you know, Zionists showing up and counter protesting you. Sometimes you're gonna have like the people who you don't like, because you're a human being. You have the right to not like people, and other people are not going to understand why, because they just are not you. And you just gotta, you know, understand it's like, it's really not about becoming best friends with the people you organize with, but it's about respecting them and respecting that at the end of the day, you're a human, I'm a human. I don't know what I'm doing, but I am trying my best, and I do know in some ways how to organize and how to do this, because my high school taught me this, and my elementary school taught me this, and my life experience taught me that. And I understand that you have the same things, but I'm not if you don't Aaron Burr me, I won't Alexander Hamilton you. If you don't Aaron Burr me, I won't Alexander Hamilton you. Like, if you don't backdoor me, I won't backdoor you. Like, if you let me live, I will let you live. Like, it's really, I feel like, kind of just all about that. And I don't know, I'm not gonna say that's really hard, but for some people, like, that is. And this is already has gone on to like 20 minutes, and it was supposed to be at 15, but I just kind of wanted to I don't know, like have a more open, honest, comfortable conversation about social activism and student activism, and low-key how elitist it can be, because again, like I said, not everybody is going to go to college, not everybody wants to go to college, and not everybody want to get on the front lines and protest. Some niggas want to make graphic tees, some niggas want to resell on StockX. Like, I don't know, some people want to do the TikTok dance, like some people want to rap, like, you know what I'm saying? Some people want to go to trade school, some people want to be a scammer. Like, decriminalize, like, I don't know, like, but at the end of the day, like, if what you're doing is in a group amongst people, it's already social. Why not advocate for something, even if it's like something silly, like decriminalize weed and make weed legal everywhere? I don't think that's silly, but is that one of our biggest concerns in the world right now? No. But is it a big concern? Yes. Maybe, you know, you want to advocate, I don't know, you can advocate for anything, of course. But like I said, if it's already something that you're doing with a group of people, what are the odds that the gods put you there in one spot? Hashtag, I am not throwing away my shot. Merc perk ilt.